Thank you, audience.
Thank you to the audience. Oh man, somebody brought their dog.
Oh, that must be the people are doing that, Brad. Service dog. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for showing up to the Dinner in Hell program.
Welcome. Yeah, Dinner in Hell band looking great in 2018-17.
Man, he's just trying to get past 17 as fast as possible.
Well, I hope it's not as shitty as 2016.
Well, we did lose a lot of celebrities, popular celebrities.
Prince!
Lemmy! Yeah! I don't even like Motorhead. Sorry, I'm the one. I'm the one that doesn't even give a shit. I can name 3 songs, and it's because bands I know covered them. Yeah,
Motorhead's awesome, though.
Yeah? Go ahead. Stick up for him. I don't mind. I'm just saying I'm not going to pretend that I'm like going to walk around in a Motorhead shirt.
Oh, the band's looking at me all shitty. I think you're as cool as Motorhead. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to the band, and thank you for being here for this first episode of 2017.
Nice job.
This is Dinner in Hell. 2 amateur historians talking about fucked up shit from history.
We got new energy.
Yeah, we're going to bring it in 2017.
New energy.
We're going to be ready.
New year, new energy, new sound. Sound different, doesn't it? We have better equipment now. Can you tell?
Yeah, put some like explosion sound effects here.
We're in a new studio, new vibe, new atmosphere.
Yeah, we got a rotating stage. The audience is 360 now.
360 audience, 1 row of seats. We did the best we could. We wanted a circular studio so we could like spin around in our chairs.
Yeah, spared no expense on this new studio.
Yeah, we have a nice staff this year. Good. I can't wait to get to know them better. Maybe we'll hear some of them on the air. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We're a 2-guy show here. We don't have other voices. All voices supplied by the talent, Brad and I.
Yeah, well, we're not going to be changing everything going into the new year. We're going to be sticking with a familiar category for the first episode.
So who are you?
Oh, I'm Brad the Impaler.
And I'm Ron Maiden.
The first topic of the new year is going to be old hat. It is one of our go-to categories.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're going to be talking about another way that human beings killed each other.
Awesome. I thought we had them all done.
No,
there's more?
There's plenty.
Okay, so what could we possibly be talking about today? I have no clue.
Well, to kick off the new year, we're going to be talking about something we've mentioned a couple times, and that is burning at the stake. Yeah, it's pretty fucking metal.
Which also, doing research, you found that burning at the stake is just rolled into one with other burning methods?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of ways people have been put to death by being set on fire or burning or put in burning stuff or having burning stuff put on them. A whole mess of them.
Yeah, burned at the stake where you're tied to a wooden pole over lumber, burning stuff, probably oil.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're naked. Sometimes they put you in a garment made to burn, it's terry cloth covered in wax. So what you're wearing ignites. Sometimes they burn you to death by pouring molten metal over you and in you.
Yeah, God. That is terrible.
But we'll get into some of the other burnings, right? But we're gonna dive into burning at the stake.
Yeah, so there were a bunch of reasons why people would be condemned to be burned at the stake. We've discussed before that this was a punishment in women for Great Britain for treason. They got that treatment rather than the drawing and quartering. But you get it for a whole slew of other stuff too. Criminal actions, like treason, other people got it for treason too. Rebellion was a big hit for rebels.
What about witchcraft?
Oh, witches got burned at the stake. They definitely got that.
Slaves that got out of line that were trying to rebel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rebel slaves got it. You'd get it for going against the church. Heresy got you burned at the stake. And moral sexual transgressions like incest,
yeah.
homosexuality, those would get you burned up too.
Frickin' treason comes into play, doesn't it? All the time. Like, treason seems to be the most serious thing you can do. Treason's not even my thoughts. I'm thinking about incest. I'm thinking about, I guess, assassination attempts would be like...
Yeah, those would definitely be qualified as treason.
I mean, that'd be like the A1 treason case to be freaking burned at the stake.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to kill you.
Yep.
But like, treason could be just like attacking a knight, you know, like, or like, you know,
planning some sort of treasonous action.
Or thinking.
Being a spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely all treason.
But yes, it's treason, but still, that's burn at the stake. Like, I'm telling you, man, these guys were just bored back then.
Yeah, bored and
consistent.
Real heavy-handed. Definitely ready to hand out some extreme punishment for just about anything.
Like, imagine burning someone at the stake. That means, like, I mean, you got to know it's going to really smell. It's going to really smell. Mm-hmm. Let's just take, for example, a campfire smells. Okay? You got burning wood. Now you're going to... And if you ever burnt your hair, like, I'm going to burn my freaking arm hair. Or, like, you know, an accident. You smell that burning hair. Just imagine that. Or when you smell a barbecue, you smell, oh, they're making chicken. Or, like, you can tell that they're making hot dogs, you know? Mm-hmm. You'll be freaking familiar with the smell of burning human flesh.
Yeah, and I bet you it's pretty unpleasant.
And you'll know that smell in the air, like when you drive by Burger King or you drive by a steakhouse, you're like, oh, it's freaking Outback. I can smell it. You know that the cooking that you smell is Mr. Treason up there on the freaking...
Oof.
Or the adulteress, you know?
Yeah, especially in these places where people are really hairy. How gross is that?
Like,
how gross burning hair is?
Dude, I bet burn at the stake numbers were down in, like, Greece.
Yeah, Italy.
Not to offend Greek women.
Like my wife.
I just realized after I said that, but seriously, come on. Persians like, I'm not really sure we need to burn them at the stake over there in Persia.
Yeah, but I'm hairy all over the place. If I got set on fire, I'd at least annoy the hell out of anybody who was standing around.
Would you swallow dog shit like in the samurai episode? Like, so when you burn, it's like, smell that dog shit too, motherfucker.
Explode.
Swallow gunpowder, and I'm like, all right, I got a little surprise. Shit, you'd probably start a new fad.
Little uranium-238.
King Nasser Assapal II would be like, pour gunpowder in it. That was a great idea. You just upped the freaking burn at the stake game. Famous King Assur-Nasr-Pal.
Yeah, he's a dinner in hell legend.
We've mentioned him a couple times at least.
Yeah, he's known for burning people too, though not specifically at the stake in any of my reading.
That dude impaled people, decorated the place with like heads on sticks.
Yeah.
He made a monument with the famous quote like at the gates of the city.
Yeah,
bragging about
dude.
it.
He would immure people.
Immured, yeah, in the walls, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He I think to some degree or another, other than the samurai one, he's probably gotten in on all of this shit.
But witchcraft, again. Hello, ladies. Witchcraft. Is there men doing witchcraft back then, or is it all women?
I think it's pretty much all women.
Yeah,
it's common for witchcraft and it's common for heresy. Like in the medieval period, it was very common to burn heretics.
There's a famous one that was famous heretic witchcraft mama.
Mm-hmm. Joan of Arc.
Mm-hmm.
She was burned at the stake for being a heretic because she claimed to hear the voices of God talking to her. And she wore men's clothes, which for some reason is more than enough to kill you over.
Remember on Game of Thrones, Lady Brienne
of Tarth?
Yeah, she's like 6'7", wearing knight's clothes.
Mm-hmm. She's bad, man.
She'd be friggin' burned at the stake. I mean, let's face it.
Totally.
If she were around in 1430, she'd be considered heretic.
Yeah, she's probably based on Joan of Arc.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Except Lady Brienne didn't have any issues mentally.
Yeah, modern psychologists have said that it's possible that Joan of Arc suffered from schizophrenia or something like that.
Wait a second. You trying to tell me that she wasn't talking to God? That wasn't God's voice talking to her?
Yeah, I may have mentioned this once before.
That
but
sounds like a heretic kind of talk to me.
it's impossible because there's no such thing.
Satan is our Lord.
Yeah, our dark Lord and Savior. Which would be cool, except he's not real either.
We prefer Satan, though. I mean, it'd be funner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. Freaking Joan of Arc, not only were they, was she charged with being cuckoo and dressing in men's clothes, but they had like 70 different charges on her, like ridiculous, weird charges that over like months were, leading. The reason we're even talking about her, because yes, she gets burned at the stake. That's what we're getting to. But up until then, they wanted her dead so bad they had like 70 charges.
Yeah, because the English caught her. She was fighting with the French, and I mean, there was no way she was getting out of that alive. But they had to make it sort of appear like they had a good reason.
And they were like, "All right, listen, 12 counts, 12 charges. We're gonna cut it down to 12, but you're gonna get killed for this." And she was like, "No, I swear." Didn't they make her sign?
Yeah, they had her sign a confession, but she was illiterate. So who knows if she had any idea what was on the paper when she signed it.
It said, like, "I will not wear men's clothes. I will
stop
not talk
pretending.
to God."
I'll stop pretending I'm hearing the voice of God. But then after a few days, she couldn't take it anymore and went back to it. She put her men's clothes on and started talking to God again.
She said, I'll go life imprisonment."
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wasn't like out on free on the promise.
Yeah.
She was like in
locked
a cell.
up still.
And then one day she's like, "You know what?
Yeah, fuck this. I gotta be me."
Yeah, I can't go out like that. This is like, people are gonna write stories about me. People already are. I already heard about it. Guy over there was like, "I already read the first half of your life. It's awesome."
Yeah, and we've seen her meet Genghis Khan and Mozart when she was brought into modern San Dimas, California.
Right, via time machine. You know what? Dinner in Hell, we should at least look into like ordering one of those time machines, a phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could use that. Like, remember the princesses?
Yeah, there is a Circle K around here. We could just wait there, hope for the best.
Yeah. They don't get robbed much. Right across from apartments. They're always like across from apartments or something. You get robbed.
Never seen a phone booth appear though, unfortunately. Mm-mm. It'd probably be pretty cool. We would definitely like to have Bill and Ted on here, if possible.
Would you use a time machine to go back and talk to George Carlin? Be like, I just want to like full circle this thing, George.
I'd be like, you need to record way more shit.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
You don't have enough for me.
Do some live video, man. More live video.
Yeah.
Or at least release.
Bring them back for at least one more HBO special or something.
Yeah. Or just have him do like Bill and Ted 3. Joan was in her cell. They were like trying to think of like what made her decide to go back on her promise that she can allegedly signed.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that there was stories that she was getting like rape threats from the guards and stuff that were keeping an eye on her. And that's when she was like, that was one of the things that like kicked her into like classic Joan mode.
Yeah, I imagine it would.
And
because, again, not a super pleasant world to be a woman in for most of it.
Yeah. I think, I feel like Dinner in Hell should do like, that radio shows do booths at like events. We should do it like feminist, like Lilith Fair type situations and be like, we just want to give back to you because like the history of women is like awful. We're not promoting the awfulness to women. We're talking about facts.
Yeah, you can't ignore it once you look into it a little bit. It is pretty constant.
Yeah. So Joan of Arc gets the old burned at the stake thing. Famous top 10 burn at the stake moments of all time.
Yeah, and the English were sort of the champions of burning at the stake. They even had in May of 1414 something called and forgive me, the Fire and Faggot Parliament, which was an English parliament that met during the reign of Henry V. It was held in Greyfriars Priory, and it's named for the Suppression of Heresy Act, which called for burning the Lollards with bundles of sticks.
So, faggot, though, when you say that, you're not saying... yes, it's a derogatory word for homosexual people. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about...
in this
it's
case,
also, it's a burning
they're referring
stick.
to a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, which is also slang for a smoke, a cigarette. And today in London, they might even still call them fag, right?
Yeah. And the Lollards weren't homosexuals. They were just a Protestant sect.
Yeah. And you said for heresy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not they're not like having sex with each other. It's just heresy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like they're burning. This isn't like a anti-gay.
Yeah, they even went so far to exhume a man named John Wycliffe after he had already been dead for 30 years, and they burned him at the stake.
They exhumed his dead corpse.
Yes.
It's just like skin and it's like a mummy at that point. It's like nothing.
Yep. This burning at the stake occurred 30 years after his death in 1428. I don't know. I mean, you just hang a skeleton up on there.
Yeah. Does bone burn? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You ever Catch a Murderer documentary? That dude that was...
I started it, but I didn't finish it.
They found like bone fragments in a bonfire in his backyard. So...
But I mean, and people get cremated.
Imagine that smell.
Oof.
We already talked. I mean, now you're thinking...
Well, 30 years is probably... Like, the decay is probably pretty complete.
It's like organic matter.
Yeah, it'd probably be mostly down to the bone by then. I'd have to imagine.
Like a rotted log or something.
Yeah.
Just like crumbles. But yeah, and then you smell that burning dead body, and you're like, damn, I wish it was just a fresh live body, because that actually kind of smells good. I'll be honest with you. I know it's sick. Kind of smells good. Burning body.
Yeah, lots of people were burned during the Spanish Inquisition, and after 1478. A lot of formerly converted Jews called Marranos, they were thought to be relapsing into Judaism. And their counterparts that were formerly converted Muslims were called Moriscos. And they just thought they were slipping back, or that they converted in name only. So they went after them and set them on fire for possibly returning to their old religion that they were forced to convert away from. Yeah.
You said relapse?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Like, they had a slip up and had a Judaist moment.
Yeah, they couldn't send them to, like, the Stop Being a Non-Christian 12-step program.
Yeah, like Al-Anon Judaism.
Yeah, set them straight on fire.
Living with your Judaism, how to cope with your Jew husband's condition.
Yeah, if you turn like the light on for him on Friday night, you're like a codependent or something then.
Coping with a Jew partner. Coping with Jew partners. A little pamphlet. He had a slip up. He was lighting a menorah. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh my god, it was a habit. I'm sorry."
He couldn't control himself. Had to spin that dreidel.
That's all we know.
Eat some unleavened bread. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about the Jewish faith.
Yeah,
not gonna lie to you. Yeah, but it's estimated that during the Spanish Inquisition, as many as 2,000 people were burned at the stake for that sort of behavior. The horrible behavior of going to the actual religion you are, not the one you were forced to convert to.
Was Christ killed because he was Judaism? Is that what the deal was? He wasn't a Christian because...
Yeah, they said, he was Jewish, and he was like inciting, like getting the Jews to kind of stick up for themselves, and
yeah.
But it was actually the Jewish elders who kind of pushed for it. Pontius Pilate was the Roman official who was actually in charge of executing Jesus. And he offered the crowd a choice. The crowd of primarily Jewish people. He said, I'll execute one of these guys. It'll either be Jesus or this murderer guy. And one of them can be freed. Like, and the crowd was like, free the murderer guy, burn Jesus, or crucify Jesus. That's why.
Really?
Yeah, it was mostly like the Jewish kind of power structure that sold Jesus out.
Whoa. Says a lot about the crowd's opinions.
Yeah.
It's like you have a choice to make. You can pick one person who's like all about peace and like trying to do good, and then you got, on the other hand, you got this vile person that is like a murderer, and the crowd is like, you can get crowd hypnosis. You can get crowd, what is it, when they all just start to mob mentality?
Yeah, mob mentality.
And they're like, I like the way this murderer talks. I like the way he presents himself. I like his game.
He tells it like it is.
Yeah. I don't like this other one who's got like experience in like helping people.
Nobody likes people who actually rock the boat. They like people who pretend that they're going to, but then don't. They don't like people who actually want to make drastic changes.
Right.
Here's a fun bit.
Do we wrap up that conversation though?
If the Marrano would confess that he was slipping back into Judaism and admit to his heresy, he would get the mercy of being strangled before he was burnt at the stake.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Some good treatment.
But I mean,
yeah, this also extended to Spanish American colonies. In 1664, a man and his wife were burned at the stake in Mexico City and Rio de la Plata. Yeah.
You know, the guy had the luxury of being strangled before the fire was set.
Yeah, I mean, being strangled's got to suck, but it's got to be a little bit less shitty than being burned alive.
I mean, we've discussed being burned alive before on the show, and we've kind of touched on how the smoke inhalation is what does you in. You pass out from it, or you die of it. Then, if you're not dead from the smoke, you're set on fire, and you die because you're losing intravenous fluids. Your body is pumping intravenous fluids to the injury, right? But the injury has no end. It's like endless, so it just keeps going. You lose your injury, and then you die in that way. Yeah,
it's. I mean, most likely, once the fire reaches a sort of certain intensity, it's probably burning most of the oxygen in the air around you. So it's probably hard to get a breath when you breathe. It probably burns the inside of your lungs. Yeah, it's probably over sort of quickly, but still, God, that would be just awful.
There's other forms of burning to death that are included if you were to do your own research on burning at the stake. A lot of times it's balled up or all rolled up into one with just other types of burning.
Yep, like there's other types of burning for sure that people have had to suffer.
There's even, going from molten metals poured on you or entirely over you. There's stories of being buried to your knees and then shit poured on you.
Yeah. If we go way back, the obligatory procedure for burning in the Hebraic tradition.
I found this one too, and
yeah. So we're talking biblical times.
This biblical times. This is in Is this not in Genesis?
Yeah.
This is in the. Let's get the exact. In Genesis 38, this is mentioned.
Yep.
And when it's mentioned, what this is the exact explanation of what they're mentioning, right?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't say this in the Bible. This is explained what they mean in the Bible. Like, they say, oh, he was burned alive. What they're trying to tell you is, like, when they say burned alive, it was this.
And in Hebrew law, this was generally reserved for people who made sort of sexual transgressions.
Okay, so we're not talking just treason. They're not throwing everything. This is like I was saying. And
the crime that this gentleman would be executed for, he consorted with a married daughter of a priest. So this is what he got for it. He got buried up in dung to his knees.
For the kids listening, he means shit.
Yeah.
Animal shit. Probably not human.
The burning procedure, in this case, involved them forcing Tamar's mouth open.
There's many ways of doing that.
But they'd wrap a cloth around his neck and yank from both sides.
I think there's 2 guys on each side.
Yeah, two guys on each side, and they'd yank it until his mouth was open. And they had what they call a wick, but it is made of burning molten lead, sort of, and it would be force-fed.
Yeah, I imagine his mouth goes open and they put like a tube down his throat. That's or like a funnel, but something that the lead's not going to set on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but then again, who gives a shit?
Burning lead going all the way through your digestive tract, or probably more accurately, burning straight through.
Yeah, there'll probably be a pile of lead below where you stood.
Yeah,
at the end of it,
probably just burn straight through you. Horrifying. All while standing in a small field of shit up to your knees.
Yeah, that's how you go out.
Yeah, that's just like insult to injury. That doesn't even seem necessary to me. God, could you imagine that? Just like, yep, like not only are we going to kill you, for some reason we're going to make you stand knee deep in shit first.
Again, people were so barbaric back then that came to someone's mind to think of it. That's how they want to do it. You have a sword, you can just chop their head off.
Yeah.
So you're doing this to freaking
to terrorize everyone else
and intimidate and show like it sends messages.
Yeah.
If the heads on the bridge on the entrance, heads on sticks isn't a message enough.
Yeah, nothing says obey me like fucking seeing somebody else get buried in shit and set on fire with molten lead. Yeah, there's other ways that molten lead was used to execute people as well. For example, Mithridates of Pontus captured the Roman general Manius Achilles and executed him by pouring molten gold down his throat. Supposedly the Parthians also executed the Roman general Marcus Licinius Crassus in this manner in 53 BC too. Mm-hmm. And someone I'm sure is going to crop up again in the future, Genghis Khan, is said to have poured molten gold down the throat of a shitty governor that was kind of kicking up against him in 1220.
Look forward to the Genghis Khan piece. I wonder if it'll be one episode.
Oh, we might have to. That might be a few-parter.
As a matter of fact, if you would prefer to hear Genghis Khan's Dinner in Hell in one episode or a multi-parter, let us know.
Yeah.
Contact us.
Maybe it'll be like a Dinner in Hell XL. But you could tweet at us and we'll figure it out together.
Yeah. Feedback. Yeah. We should probably plan on a multi-part Genghis.
Yeah, keeping it in the family, his descendant, Hulagu Khan, did the same thing to a sultan in 1258 and poured molten gold down his throat to kill him. In the Kingdom of Siam, which is modern-day Thailand, people who defrauded the public treasury would get treated like this. They'd get molten gold poured down their throat.
Like forged coins?
Yeah. Seems like a pretty steep penalty. And it also, if they're worried about their wealth, it seems like an odd way to waste gold.
Yeah. You must have a ton of gold. And
it's a really expensive way to kill people. I mean, they reuse the gold?
Yeah, I'm sure you pick away the meat,
It seems that's got to be a ton of work. And the gold would be all gross.
You'd probably make a crown out of it, and this crown's got the spirit of freaking... No, you just use that same gold on the next person.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, if you just melt them down.
Go get the freaking gold block that we use.
Yeah,
the one that stinks.
Skim the gold off the top or whatever, like you're making a broth.
Buttermilk. Have you ever had buttermilk?
Uh-huh.
I never have. I had a recipe call for it. It was making chicken tenders. Supposed to marinate, supposed to soak in buttermilk.
Mm-hmm.
My woman's like, just use regular milk, dude. We're not buying buttermilk.
You could have used like cream or something, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I just used milk. It's fine. Turned out
good.
Turned out good.
Cool.
Sorry, I don't post pictures online, but I did take a pretty sweet picture. It was Doritos encrusted chicken tenders.
Yeah, one
Can't
time.
wait to hear this on the fucking episode. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I got a deep fryer for Christmas once from my parents, and man, I had to just get rid of it because I couldn't be trusted. I was deep frying everything.
Where's all the pancake batter go? I friggin' found your pickles and friggin' deep fried them, bro.
Be like, oh, and you name it, like Snickers bars.
Take a Oreo, like I think you're supposed to freeze them. Take an Oreo, freeze it, dip it in pancake batter, and deep fry it. It's awesome.
Yeah, there's apparently a way to deep fry ice cream. I don't know how that works, but
it's comparable to like when a dog, like you see a dog licking his balls, and you're like, man, it's fucking lucky dog that he can lick his balls. I would never leave the house, but it's like I can figure out how to make deep fried Oreos. That's close. That'll be good. That'll be a good teaser.
Yeah, my diet for a long time pretty much consisted of cheese sticks. That's how I used to make them like that. I would crush up a bunch of Doritos and I'd just buy the like string cheese from the store.
Yep.
Fry them up real quick. Yeah, so if there's anything we've gotten through burning, we've talked about a whole mess of different ways that are shitty to get killed by other people.
Yep.
But if you have any specific ideas on any topic you'd like to hear, you can tweet those to us at Dinner in Hell Pod. You can email us at dinnerinhellpodcast@gmail.com. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher, and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, by no means are we running out of topics. We're just, if there's a topic you want us to get to faster than we normally would have, let us know.
Dinner in Hell Band, take us out.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the studio audience. That dog was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's sitting pretty nice and good. You're good. It's a good boy. Is it a boy? Thank you, everyone. You have been a great audience. Thank you, band. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Ron. Good night.